All right, everybody. So welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing. So today we're doing a subject that's a little bit different. So I'm sorry, didn't really get to do the weekly fishing report this week. Had a lot going on. My son had surgery Monday. He's doing great. Everything's fine. But some of you that may know, may not know, I'm having some health problems myself. So I had to take a few days where I just kind of had to chill out. But either way, I wanted to talk about a subject that I get from you guys a lot, especially people that I'm friends with and then other individuals that, just watch my content. And that's on where is tournament bass fishing heading. And I'm going to give you my opinion. So stay tuned. This is something you don't want to miss. All right, guys. So this is kind of one of those controversial subjects where I don't really cover stuff like this on my channel. And one of the only reasons that I'm doing it, I just didn't get to do the weekly fishing report today. And I get these questions a lot from you guys, what I think about the tournament scene and stuff like that. Some of you know that I was in the tournament scene 2019, 2020. And I got out for specific reasons. There ain't a whole lot of money in it. You can't, it's very, very hard to make a living in tournament bass fishing in general. The market's saturated with anglers, everybody trying to get their piece and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that it's not feasible. It's just, for me personally, it wasn't at the time. But kind of moving out of that, there's the controversy with the forward-facing sonar, no forward-facing sonar. Sometimes you can use forward-facing sonar, and my opinion on the direction of tournament fishing with forward-facing sonar is kind of like this. I kind of like the way it's set up to where bass you can use forward-facing sonar. I think MLF you can use forward-facing sonar at like a certain period of time or something like that. Not 100% sure. And then you got the MPFLs that no forward-facing sonar at all. So you kind of got that mix in between where you can kind of pick and choose which direction you want to go. Me personally, I don't care either way. I would love to try to learn from every one of them. I want to learn how to use my sonar or my forward-facing sonar as much as I know to use my 2D, my side imaging, my down imaging, all that good stuff. Just like when you were learning maps for the first time. I don't think forward-facing sonar is this necessarily horrible thing. I just think it's really boring to watch, and I don't think it's something that we really need to get. Well, I don't want to say we. It's something that I don't want to, just use all the time. It's like certain situations. If I'm having a very, very hard time finding fish, then I want to use that technology to kind of help guide me. Okay, they're doing this, and then I can use that later on down the road if I need to. But as far as the forward-facing sonar and stuff, I kind of like that versatility where you've got 3 different circuits doing 3 different things. I think that's pretty cool. You can kind of pick and choose whichever way you want to go. Now, the other side of it is kind of like the financial standpoint. Bass released where you don't have to pay an entry fee, which is good in my opinion. I don't think that if you're fishing a professional league that you should have to pay entry fees. It's kind of like if you go to play in the NBA or you go to play in the NFL, you don't have to pay an entry fee to play, in the NBA or NFL or whatever the case may be. But unfortunately, the money's just not there. That's what people may not recognize, from a viewer standpoint. Some people who's in it big, who pay attention to all that stuff, they may understand that, but I don't think a lot of people know that. If you get 36th place, that's a big accomplishment. That is a big accomplishment, fishing against 100 of the top guys in the world. But at the same time, cutting a $500 check, that's not even going to cover your travel expenses for the time you spend up there. So, Bass has got a lot of work to do when it comes to stuff like that. I hope to see something in the future where, and I'm very optimistic. I will say I'm very optimistic. I'm not a very pessimistic person. I'm very optimistic about the future. But either way, I think it would be really good to see eventually where, the MPFL, Bass, MLF, none of these guys have to, not cut entry fees down, but cut entry fees out completely where the anglers doesn't have to pay to get in, but the payouts are very, very good. And I think that comes a lot with, you know, the market and, you know, what can be advertised. Viewership definitely has a lot to do with it, because you got to think Bass, MLF, NPFL, they got to be able to go to these companies, whether it's fishing related or not, and say, hey, we've got this many viewers, you know, would you like to sponsor? You'll get your product, or, you know, whatever the case may be, insurance company, something like that. You're going to get a lot more views. We're going to push a lot more people to your company, where we can get where you can get a lot more sales. And you know, I just don't think the viewership's there right now. But I will say I'm hoping that the sport is growing. I'm not 100% sure to say that it is. I do know a lot of the old timers are getting out of fishing, because it's very, very hard for them to be out on the lake all day long trying to fish and stuff like that. And a lot of newcomers are coming in. A lot of the younger generations coming in. So I don't know if, you know, the newer generation is kind of replacing the amount of the old generation that's fishing, or what. But, you know, it's I think things will be good in the future. I just think we're going to have to work really, really hard at it. You know, I wish the best luck to all young anglers or older anglers who's trying to go that route in tournament fishing. But it is definitely a financial struggle. But either way, guys, that's my opinion. That's exactly what it is. It's just an opinion. Not saying I'm right or wrong, but that's just my thought process on it. But either way, if you like this kind of content, hit like. You know, if you got any questions or anything to add or anything like that, you just want to talk fishing, drop a comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. Either way, I'll see you next time.